You're listening to MSP Waves Radio. We just finished some dice, and congratulations to MSP Waves for picking up a 50 Steam from yours truly. Next up, what we're going to do, we're going to grab Yaba P. Matt, and he's going to join us on air. And we're going to go talk a little bit about BidBots and his witness campaign. So let's see where this goes. Yaba, I have you on air with me right now. You are currently muted, and you might not. There we go.
Sorry about that.
No, so you're live. I just wanted to make sure that you could talk. So,
Yep.
Well, welcome, Yaba. Most people may not even know your voice or know your name. So why don't you give us a quick introduction of who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Thank you for having me on, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm doing business with you. I believe in you and I like
Right.
you. So this is a no-brainer to me.
So, you all can call me Matt. It might be easier than Yaba. And I am I'm relatively new on Steam. It's been almost 4 months now. But I'm a witness, and I just recently got in the top 50. Mostly known for the Steam Bot Tracker website. Bunch of open source development work on the website, and also my own BidBot and various other things. Most recently, as Agro mentioned, we're gonna work together on some new BidBot projects.
Yeah, so BidBots are evil and they're ruining this entire space. Can you respond to that?
Absolutely, and that's why we're working on them. We just want to ruin it. We hate Steam. We want to kill the whole thing.
All right, I'm gonna have to edit that out. Okay, try again. So why is this not? Why does this help? What is it? It's just a cash machine, right? And people that use them are evil cash machine users. So
all right, my take two here. So when I started, like most people, I came on, I made some posts, and no one read them. And it was discouraging.
Yep.
I'm not the type who just gives up easily. So I kind of started to really learn how everything works and see what I could do. So my first thought was, I have a decent amount of money, in my opinion. I could invest some in Steam, and I can upvote my own posts. And I realized that I don't have nearly enough money to upvote my own posts seen by anybody. So I was kind of back to square one, and then I found out about the bid bots and the voting bots and other various pay-for-vote services to just go ahead and send, $10, $15 or whatever to a service and get a really decent-sized upvote, $20 to $30 worth as far as post rewards. And then all of a sudden, my post got into the hot pages or even trending on some less popular tags, and I got followers, and my follower count grew. I started to get organic votes, and then all of a sudden I had a way to get my content promoted and out there and kind of be successful. And so I was like, okay, well, I made the bot tracker tool for myself to help me use these services better, public for everyone, so they could essentially do the same thing I did and have a way to get their content out there and not just be discouraged and give up.
Yeah, so I've recently made a post that I was going to go use BidBots a lot more and see how that goes. And my experiment with them has been nothing short of like meteoric success. I've been here a year and a half, and I got 7,000 followers. In the week and a half that I've been using BidBots pretty intensely, I've picked up almost 10%. So it took me a year and a half to get to 7,000 followers. I picked up 634 in basically 10 days.
I did the same. I went from zero, though.
That's remarkable to me. And then on top of that, what I've done is I pay for some early votes, and once these things get trending or something, those posts end up getting lots more rewards on them than I had been getting previously. My standard post for a long time was sitting between 20 and 40 SBD or like post rewards. I'd put on like $100 or a little bit more of bidbot votes, and suddenly, like you said, these things hit hot, they hit trending, and now I'm getting, I think of it like yards after the carry. Not only did I break even roughly on the vote, but then because so many more people saw it, I was getting followers and getting followers and actually catching really large votes that I hadn't seen in quite a long time. So I think some people that were looking for the curation rewards, when I posted I'm doing this with the bid bots, some people were interested in curation rewards, but also just the post values were making a lot more noise. And I might be going too far with this, because when I look at trending for the whole thing, I have 3 posts in the top 6 that I started by buying my way into, and then these things have gotten quite a bit of money. And I probably put $100 or $200 of post rewards into these through bid bots, of which I've mostly recouped that cash just from the bot itself. But then it had sort of these explosive growth afterwards. So Crimson Clad is saying some of that is from the panel discussion, and I agree with that. I think being a witness and being an active part of this community is helping. I think, am I positively affecting the trending page? Well, I think that the benefits of inaction, a defensive high SBD is really good. Showing the panel discussion is really good. And I think actually that third post that I have up there, initial vote offering a white paper on using Steam and the voting system as a way to aggregate funding. It's not all me, but there are a couple of these posts that I actually think are pretty good. But having 6 posts on trending, I don't have 6 posts, I don't think. I have 3 posts out of 6, out of like the top 6. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I basically walked away with is that if good people don't use them, I said of 6. I don't have 6 up there, and I actually try to purposely spread these things out. But some of them actually caught more fire than I thought that they would. So I didn't pay for all of them to get into the top spots. I basically put $100 votes on them, and then afterwards, they've picked up an assload of steam on their own, both EAM and EEM.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of people don't realize. I think they think that, you just pay for the bid bots and your posts get on trending, and that's the end of the story. But I think the real key with what you just said is that you paid for the bid bots, and that got them the ability to get on trending based on their merit.
Yeah,
it sucked. They wouldn't have.
I have no Steam, right? Like, I have no Steam power. I have something like 58,000. I delegate out 57,000 to the Minnow Support Project and Love Juice and the MSP Bidbot that sends cash to MSP every single evening. That's what I'm putting this stuff into. So I have no Steam power of my own, and my vote's worth 9 cents. So trying to get these posts stratospheric has been a challenge. So this has been, I don't know. To me, it's been a phenomenal success. I mean, I really don't have plans to stop using bidbots. I think they serve a promotional tool. They serve a desire to keep using SPDs within this economy. I think it's a way to keep investors here and keep buying pressure on Steam. And I think it's one of the fastest ways to go collect votes and followers and other. So I don't know. I feel like there's good things that have come out of it. I mean, I certainly, I don't plan to like monopolize trending, but I certainly do intend to try to keep one post up there floating through bidbot use, because it is fueling very fast and very strong growth.
Yeah, and to kind of comment on some people's messages in the chat, like I don't think this is like the way that is like the best for this whole thing to work. but I think as things stand right now on Steam, it's definitely much more beneficial than it is hurting.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise they're like, let's say that you have a baller post and you've just done the coolest thing ever. Like, frankly, there was a post that got 1 million views and was worth like 82 cents. That's totally distorted. Like, we should be supporting that, but nobody even knows that it's here. You know, if you can go get that thing a BidBot vote and you're a minnow, or if you can get something on that thing, then maybe people in this community will see that it's getting 1 million views. And then we can reward it. But if you're just a minnow with like 20 followers and nobody knows that it's there, how else are you going to do that? So, I mean, yeah, you can go like spam post it everywhere, but I don't know. You could just get a BidBot, put that up there, get some things. There should be a most viewed tab. Yeah, the views are really easy to go manipulate main event, although there's something to that. So, you know, we have MSP Steam and we have Go Steam, and we can ask people to go kind of change these. I asked NetUoso to go put in a minnow trending page where like you're just at if you're 5,000 steam power or less, that's what it'll look for. I don't know what that'll quite look like, but that's on his radar of things to do.
Yeah. And one thing I also didn't mention, you know, was that because and that they were there, I went and then bought the Steam back dollars to use them, right? So I went and invested money into Steam BidBots. If they weren't there, I wouldn't have had that option, and I wouldn't have invested money into Steam. So, you know, it's really kind of the only major source of commerce that's happening on the platform right now.
Yeah,
it's really good for that.
And if, you know, we don't have an advertising revenue model, there's none on the platform. Like, how do you pay? I guess you can use promoted, but just like people don't really look at trending, people don't really look at promoted. Although I do think some whales actually do look at trending. So I'm going to say some people's do that. So, yeah. And so like Maine said, if people are putting total shit posts into trending, then you're going to get burned. So at some point, like I personally got 3 flags from Bernie that probably cost me about $600 or $700 total this past week. So I've definitely faced some financial risk at the same time that I'm doing this. So it hasn't been all unicorns and rainbows, but there's some good stuff. I mean, I think that these things serve a useful tool, and as long as hard fork 19 is in effect, as long as we have linear rewards, this stuff is going to be here. And frankly, it was here before too. People were just buying votes in DMs. And now instead it's totally transparent where it's coming from. And that I think is a pretty big improvement, so that you can see what is a promoted post that has a paid BidBot and what isn't. I think that kind of information is much better than, hey, I made a deal in a DM. Now I'm vote trading. And actually, there's vote trading going on. And if you look at some of the highest rewarded authors right now, it's because of vote trading. And that's the kind of like true circle jerking that we don't want on the platform. Having investors that are holding Steam to sell as a promotional tool to get more eyes on your posts, I don't think that's the end of the world. So, but I know other people have different opinions. So that's okay. But in the meantime, as long as linear rewards are here, I think it makes the most sense to try to make these as transparent as possible, make them as ethical as possible, include the blacklist that people have been trying to get together. And to me, I'd like to see sort of the rep system built into this thing too, so that, you know, minnow accounts might not be able to go maximize how much they want to put on certain posts. And if people are on blacklists, that they can't use them at all. And if people are sort of whitelisted, you know, I could imagine somebody wants to launch an ICO on Steam and talk about it, but this is their first post ever, that might be a time where we can whitelist people and say, this seems like a noble project. Let's help these guys do this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in total agreement. I think everyone focuses on the negatives. Every once in a while, there's people who just are after profits from the bots, but those people are going to get the profits one way or another. But it's the people like myself initially, the bid bots didn't exist, would just leave the platform.
And how funky is that, huh? Okay, so some transparency. So now, do you want to talk about the post promoter tool and how that bidbot might be a little bit different than the Dr. Otto one?
Well, I mean, yeah. So I've never actually run the Dr. Otto one. I've just heard a lot of complaints about it. So when I kind of wanted to get into the game myself, why don't I go build a better one, essentially? That's well written, well commented, easy to understand, easier to modify, allow people as they want more easily. So I've gotten a lot of interest in it. There's almost close to 2 million Steam power in the bots that are running on the software right now, and it's only a couple of weeks old.
Yeah,
hoping it can really just take this to a whole nother level.
Well, and I'm also excited because I know the bots can use Steam, and I have Love Juice using this thing now. I'm looking forward to switching to Steam. I feel like if we can get a little bit more transparent on the numbers and like differentiate between Steam and SBD into that whole system, that we could switch to using Steam, and that reduces a lot of risk for people, especially because the SBDs are bouncing all around. That makes it hard to anticipate what it's costing you, what your returns are, and Steam's doing that, but not to the same extent, So
right. So I was actually working on that, while I was on the call listening.
Nice.
So hopefully that should be ready in the very near future.
You're awesome.
Another really important thing that a lot of people have, both the owners and the users of the bots, is that the post promoter bot will automatically refund any invalid bids. So you cannot get screwed as a user. You send a post and whatever, you copy the URL wrong, you send it to little amount, or any problem, you're either going to get a bid. And so that's great for the users, and it's great for the bot owners, because I have not gotten one complaint in over a week of running post promoter of someone saying, hey, I screwed up, refund my money, which is a huge problem for the bot owners. So that feature, which is pretty simple, just has really improved things a lot. And there's an indicator now on the bot tracker website that shows you which bots will do that.
And that's awesome. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this. And can I share one of the other objectives of this thing that I think is sort of one of the coolest possible uses of this?
Of course.
Yeah. So one of the next goals is to actually get US dollars to do this, and build it so that you could swipe a credit card to go get these votes. Because now that's going to bring fiat dollars into Steam. And that to me is really freaking exciting. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if that actually comes into a reality. But I feel like that's a way that we could really empower the price of Steam. I mean, if there's an easy way to convert your dollars into votes, which is basically a way to go purchase Steam or Steam backed dollars, that's really exciting to me. And I feel like that in itself, if you combine that with the 5 million Steam power that's sitting in BidBots, if we could go really capture US dollars and have them shoved into BidBots, which would ultimately help raise the price of this whole thing, that's pretty cool. And
there's a whole group of people, I feel like, who are totally able to come onto Steam, sign up, make posts, find out and understand how to use the voting bots, but they wouldn't be able to or wouldn't be comfortable setting up a Coinbase account, wiring in funds, buying, they would probably buy Bitcoin, which is the hardest to transfer just because they don't know, and then trying to figure out what site to use to transfer that into Steam to then finally buy their bids. Like, no one, there's a whole group of people who are not going to be able to do that. Whereas if they can just go on the site and type in their credit card information, so it opens it up to a much bigger market of people with a lot of great content to post.
And that to me sounds powerful. That to me sounds like we could really, like, Steam needs more gateways. We need more gateways into this community, and that especially for getting money into this community and into this platform. And that feels like a way that we can do that, that I think can help catapult Steam, especially against some of the other competitor coins that are out there. So I think there's some real promise to this. I mean, if investors can start seeing how they could quickly turn US dollars into Steam through this, I think that would help this platform greatly.
Yeah, I obviously agree, and that's why I'm working with you on it.
Is this your only witness goal? What else is on your mind? What else are you working on? What else do you think this platform needs, and where can we go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is kind of my main focus right now. I don't have a ton of time on top of a family and a full-time job, so I can't work on too many projects. One thing that I thought is kind of a really neat idea that I just thought of, and it's a little bit late, but a Steam gift card type of thing. It would be really cool to be able to send Steam to an account, some type of like gift card number or code, like you would with an Amazon gift card, and send that to someone who's not even on the platform, and they could go to a site and enter in that code. It would create an account for them using some of the funds that were given to that gift card, and then they would just get those funds. So it's a way to like give someone 50 Steam as a Christmas present or something.
Especially if they don't have that account already. Sort of like
then great. But yeah, the whole idea is that you can give it to someone and they can go on and just make an account, and that account's already funded. The funds are given through the gift card. So it just gets someone on with some money to start playing with right away.
That is cool. And especially if you could do that,
make that in the next week or something.
Yeah, especially, well, I know that you also put together a Steam creator where basically you pay in cash and he created an account, although it doesn't have any Steam on it. And that, putting the Steam on it gets a little funky, but I don't know. There's something here. There's people that can, there are going to be ways to either work with regulations or circumvent regulations or ignore regulations or something. I mean, this is the Wild West, and we're not talking about billions. We're still talking about thousands. So I think that there's a lot of people where this falls under the radar, and who's to say that your income wasn't just like promotional, or it's a gift card business, and maybe not explain in detail that it's a cryptocurrency gift card business. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking just starting with like you have to have Steam, like you use Steam to fund the gift card and not US dollars, just to avoid any type of regulatory complaints there.
Okay.
I haven't used Netuoso's tool, but I have used like Anon Steam, and I was just thinking to make this like much more user friendly. And also have like a nice, thing where you get the gift card and you could print something. It's like do the whole package for you. So you print something that you can give to them with like a QR code and Steam logo and some nice information about it. Really, really package it nice.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, one of my best friends went and took all the wives from what we call our wolf pack. All the wives got together, they went out to dinner, and he just tossed them a credit card. And so he picked up the tab for all the wives that went out to dinner. And he told us after the fact that he did this. And I said, okay, well, I'm willing to contribute. I will contribute either in US dollars or because I really want him, using Steam. I said, look, I'll actually not only kick in a hundo, but if you do this through Steam, I'd kick in $150 worth of Steam. Mostly as a bribe to go get him. He's a doctor and he has some extra funds. And I feel like, having a doctor on the platform is a worthwhile endeavor. So this idea of basically being able to prepackage some funds for somebody, who knows? Maybe that would actually be enough to entice them to get here.
For people. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they would go to get their funds, right?
You would think so.
Yeah.
But you know what? I keep thinking about, like, I'd like to make accounts for my kids, and I know that's easy enough to do. I just haven't done it yet, but there's parts of this. There's a lot of things that are here that we are just so at the beginning stages of this that if we work together and make some cool things, I think there's adopters in the world that will pick them up.
Oh yeah, it's super early. I mean, just the fact that all this stuff hasn't even been done before shows how early on it is.
Yeah, I mean, these are not advanced tools that we're talking about. These are
Right.
like some ground level things. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunity that we can put together.
Yes, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Well, rock on. All right. Yeah, but people are gonna want to go to bed. This is going to be the end of the formal show. I'm willing to go spend another 15 minutes with Intuitive Jakob or so, because he's got just one of the craziest stories that I know, and hopefully his mic is working. But Matt, I'll tell you, I met you in person. I liked you then. I like you now. I feel like we can do something good with these things that really help the platform. And I know that it's not contention free, but it's not the first time I've faced contention. And I feel like there's good that can be done, and we can really help the ecosystem with this. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we go.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and thank you again.
Yeah, good times. All right, you were listening to Yabba P. Matt, one of the most recent additions to the top 50 witness list, and another guy that's pretty excited to go work with him in a support project. And I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of him. So I'm pretty excited. So that is the end of this show. But if you'd like to stick around and listen to me and Intuitive Jakob, and actually Rondon asked me to go get on. So let me go pull Rondon on, and he can ask a couple questions about flagging. And then after that, we'll end the show and do after hours with Intuitive Jakob. So Ron, I'm pulling you in, and Intuitive, this is going to mess with your sound. So you might actually want to go hop into the MSP Waves radio while I pull Rondon live on air. And Ron, I'm about to pull you on, so whatever feedback you have or whatever looping you're doing, you're going to want to stop that. Otherwise, we're going to mute you. So I'm pulling Ron on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On. So, yeah, Ron, you're on air.
All right, I turned it off.
All right. Well, I'm glad I did all that warning ahead of time. How are you this evening, Ron?
I was way ahead of you. I was bracing for it. I'm doing great. We're having a great show here.
Yeah,
boy,
so,
you're just
go for
you're
it.
killing it tonight.
Well, thank you. I'm just doing my normal thing, and I just have some really great people to talk to this evening. Which reminds me, I got to go figure out who everybody was that I spoke to, because I don't know them all.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so, I haven't been keeping track of that at all either.
I'm missing some people.
I think we could probably piece it together.
Yeah, I know I'm missing people. I got to go add Yabamat to that. Who else am I? Hopefully the audience can remind me who else I spoke to that Sun Ravage me.
Sunravel me?
Sun Ravage me.
Let me go through the list.
Saipan came on.
Pensive? Oh, you got him on there.
Yeah, I have him down as Rodeo 670. So I've just added Sun Ravage me. Who else there were other people, right? I didn't just interview 10, or were all my interviews like 15 to
Cubby?
20 minutes tonight?
Oh, you got her? All right.
Do I have Cubby on there? Yeah, Cubby's on there as number 6. Rhonda K.
Clay?
Rhonda. Yeah, Clay's on there. So here's Rhonda.
Rhonda, yep.
And hopefully some other folks will remember who else I spoke to. So if you guys don't know, Rhonda is one of the station managers. She's also a senior moderator as part of this. Brilliant technician for Linux, and he's the one running our master OBS. He owns the server that runs MSP Waves. This guy, along with Global Cop, are the two people that really put the lion's share of the work into keeping the lights on the radio station, and they're the ones that help train the DJs and bring them on board and help manage the full team of people that make this whole organization work. So thank you to you, thank you to Globo, thank you for the whole team. You guys are fucking awesome. And with that, what do you want to talk about for flagging of bots?
Yeah, well, actually, I want to talk about something that's free speech related.
All right, hit me.
I had something hit me in the free speech server today that I am still trying to figure out. Now, what I got hit with was a post that got flagged. They used about 20 upvote bots on this post, and it is nothing more than a picture and a copy paste of a Bible verse. And I can't upvote that with free speech, even though it kind of qualifies. But what it really got me to is I'm going to have to figure out where's the line, because people who disagree that Michelle Gent made too much money for her stuff, I'm gonna upvote with. But people who disagree that a picture and a copy paste, it's not plagiarism because the Bible is public domain, but it's extremely low content quality, and if it's put up into trending, I don't know. I need some feedback on this. Is it just because of the subjective value of the picture? No, the picture's original content. They took a nice, neat picture. They put the I had this post up here. Sorry.
Is it trending, or did it get flagged down off of it?
Well, it looks like it removed about Transistor and several other Newsflash and several others hit it and knocked it down about $100, and it's still got $40 on it. Here we go. So yeah, they did 20 bid bots. If you look at the wallet, and it's that picture is all it is, with their footer, on there going, "Oh, check me out on Twitter," or whatever it is. I don't remember, but so I can't, and in good conscience, upvote that with free speech.
Wow, they got a lot of views and a lot of votes for this. I mean, there's going to be a line somewhere, though, right? Okay, even for let's just say the views make up for it. What if somebody does that with a YouTube video that they didn't even make? Yeah, I mean, I think my line, I think it's their right to go do that, and I think it's actually the right of Newsflash, Tamim, and Transistor to flag the shit out of it, along with Twinner.
Well, of course, I do too.
And then
it's also the right of free speech to upvote those flags, but the fact is the whole point of free speech is to encourage debate, encourage engagement and debate, and facilitate conversation on the platform. Allow dissenting opinions and stuff like that, and it doesn't really fall into those. I mean, I don't know.
So if that's original photography that they took themselves, I would say that's fair game. If that's just something that they pulled off of Pixabay, then that's pretty bullshit.
I believe it is. I didn't really look into it too much, but I believe it is an original photo. I'm 95% certain.
I mean, if that's an original photo, I would get really mad if all I did was saw a post with a Pixabay image and then it gets circle jerked up to $200. But if it's an original image and all it is that original image, that's not my favorite post, but I actually think those count. And like a YouTube video, if David Pacman goes and makes a YouTube video and he posts nothing but the YouTube video, I'm pretty okay with that too, because it's original content that they're putting out into the universe here. So, yeah, I mean, I think that they have every right to go post this, and I think they have every right to bidbot the hell out of it. And I think everybody has the right to flag the shit out of it. And that's the danger that you run into when using bidbots on it.
Right, but I'm kind of seeing it. I'm kind of asking for community advice as far as free speech. Should free speech get involved in this?
Sure, why not?
And where the line would be.
Well,
I mean,
more important,
just original content.
More important than that is just having the dialogue about that. Where as a community do we want to draw this line? I mean, I think you should upvote it, re-steam it, and then put a post about it to go have a conversation about this, and just ask people in the community. You're going to get a wide range of response.
Right. Yeah, this disagreement on rewards thing is quite possibly. I thought I was going to get into way trickier subjects. I was thinking about all the controversial stuff that I was going to get into, and the disagreement on rewards, the most boring.
Yeah, but that's what I think you're going to get into. Because people the like controversy about this is not like should Steam have Bible verses on it. I think there's a space for Christianity and other religious things. I mean, one question.
Well, absolutely, and it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a Bible verse on there. It's the fact that. Oh yeah, the flag. I mean, that is true too. They didn't specify why they flagged. They just flagged it, which is kind of one of the points of free speech. Is a flag is not an argument.
Yeah. No, like I've said for a while, a flag is an act of violence, and not all acts of violence are forbidden. But I don't know.
A flag is an act of violence?
Yeah, it's financial violence.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I would. I've said this for months. Flagging is a form of violence. And there's a reason people do it, right? Like, if I act like a total asshole off chain and you want to cause me pain, you're going to go flag me for it. And that's your right. I mean, that's what you can do with your Steam. But, like when Ned flagged a whale shares post or a Beyond Bitcoin post or something, and he brought it down $600. I mean, that he's impacting tons of people with that flag. That's an act of financial violence. I don't know what else to call it. People had money and now they don't. And you could say, well, it's just you're not technically removing that money, you're just redistributing it and all this other shit. But that, to me,
I would call it a disincentive. That's about.
I don't think that
disincentive is a very, very powerful word. I mean, that disincentive can shape a civilization. So it's not something that's just a very light word. It is very powerful, but it's not. I don't know if I go as far as saying it's violence.
Look, if I took $600 from you, what would you call that?
Yeah, but it's not $600 in my. I can't say that the rewards pending is mine until that's counting your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah, but somebody else put those rewards on here. So like, yes, this person went and they upvoted an assload for this, but other people upvoted it too. That their opinion was that this thing should be worth more. And when you flag it, to me, it's an act of financial violence to go remove those rewards. You are attempting to financially punish that other person for either low quality content, disagreement over the rewards, harassment, hate speech, or just because it's your opinion. I mean, I think it's financial violence. That doesn't mean that violence is never merited. It just means that you are attacking somebody financially by doing that. I don't think that's a radical idea.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm still just as stuck on this, but I think this did help a lot.
I mean, more important than what I think is that this is a great discussion. It's a great discussion to have on the platform of, is this because of religious? Is this because of low quality content? Is this because it's original or not original? Or is it just because they used 8 million upvotes and they don't want this in trending? And is it they don't want this in trending because it's low quality content or because it's religious or they don't like this person. I mean, there's a million different things that could be on here. It's a challenge to figure it out. But that discussion is valuable.
It is quite a challenge, yeah. And to figure out the ramifications of it. I mean, I do see the flags, you know, the micromanaging of what content should be allowed and shouldn't be allowed, what it should be rewarded, what it shouldn't be rewarded. You know, the lightest touch is the best touch on that. You know, it's kind of the thing of most of the time, most actions are going to be wrong as far as growth is concerned and retention on the platform is concerned. So, you know, I don't know. I do see flagging as a big disincentive, and it does have way further reaching ramifications than just the person who got flagged. You know, you got people who are checking out the platform and they see all these people getting flagged, and then, you know, these people that got flagged turn into evangelical. I can't even say the word, but whatever. You know, they go out and evangelize about how bad Steam it is and stuff, and bad word of mouth is way. I mean, it is a horrible thing to have too. So you know, there's way further reaching ramifications of flags than just what's on the surface. Team Steam supports all flags unless it's a nation's flags.
Yeah, I'm not completely anti-flag. I just think that it's healthier to think of it as punching somebody in the wallet on Steam. And if you recognize that you're punching somebody in the wallet, then I think that's okay. Like, there might be a cause to go punch somebody. But I think if you don't realize that it's a form of financial violence, I mean, imagine when Steam goes up to $300 and somebody makes a post and you're going to get $8 million from this thing and somebody flags it down to zero. I mean, at some point, this thing is going to go from lunch money to mortgages to massive investments, and that's going to be a big freaking deal. So, we got to, at some point, this, even when it's $50, it's still financial violence, even if it's 10 cents. You're taking it from somebody else that otherwise would have received it. And again, I'm not saying that don't ever flag, and I'm not saying that it's not a reason to. I'm just saying I think it's helpful if we think about this as taking somebody else's money that they earned through their post or by buying votes.
I mean, yeah, I see, you know, just as you could go buy Steam on the market with your US dollars or your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or whatever, you know, you can temporarily buy some Steam power by using a bidbot. So it's really the same thing, just kind of convoluted a little. And, you know, I don't know. I guess, what do you guys think? Should free speech get involved on that post I posted in here on the picture? Should free speech upvote it? I think I got a yes from Agrode.
I think it's worth the discussion.
See, I got a no from Krim. I got a no from Tariko. No from McKenzie. Yeah, I'm leaning hard on the no side. I want to though, but yeah, it's just. Clay.
Yeah.
Good old Clay.
All right. Well,
yeah, I posted it again. All right. Well, yeah, that's all I needed. I just kind of wanted a little bit of.
I'm in the minority apparently.
Yeah, and I don't really. I mean, I don't know. I might be looking at it from a logistics point of view, but I don't really want to be chasing down this bidbot flagging either, unless it's for good content. You know, I don't know. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for your insight and your time, and I appreciate all the comments on this. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, Agrode.
Yeah, good times. Thanks for coming on. All right, so here we go. Intuitive Jakob, we're going to go finish up this interview. We're going to go for maybe 10 or 15 minutes here, and then I'm going to pass out hard. So Intuitive Jakob, how's your mic doing?
Hopefully better. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you much better. This is great.
Fantastic.
You
I
were,
just switched devices.
yeah, you were clicking in and out all the time.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry about that, man. I don't know what happened. It was okay on the sound check, and I think that's what happened the other day too. It just went bananas.
That's Mercury in retrograde for you. Okay, so where are we going with this baby? What's round 2 of this starting to look like?
Well, I just kind of wanted to resonate with you. We can talk about me if you want to keep talking about me, but I really felt like what you were saying has just been extremely important in this conversation that you just had with Rondon regarding the just the way this ecosystem is interacting with itself. I'm actually one of those people that almost, we'll just say, nearly became the evangelical one that ran out of here with his pants on fire, like, what the holy F, because of my first night in Steam It chat and what I literally saw happen and how I was pretty much treated as a minnow walking through the gate and literally seeing people tear apart somebody's account. That was the first thing that I had seen, in addition to somebody just screaming their head off in the room, freaking out about how their account got hacked. And so it was just a rescue for me to find Discord chat. And I gotta do a shout out here to Julia Ponsford too, because I hadn't actually mentioned her yet, but I think it was, my first couple of days here, I was feeling a little bit perturbed because I thought that I'd found this incredible thing and then started participating in one weird little blip, I'll just say, that might have been presenting itself to me as, who I get to be here. I almost just didn't want to participate anymore, TBH.
Yeah.
And so,
that
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
People have to get used to this experience, and that whatever they bring with them isn't always welcome here, and it's hard to get over that.
And it's just, it's just a different, it's a different environment and everything too. And so, I just keep feeling so much love for what's happening here at PAL. It's incredible. Actually, my spirit mama just joined tonight too. I don't know if I can shout her out. She just jumped in the audience room. Mama Fussy Doo.
Hey,
she's here.
Welcome, Mama Fussy Doo.
She just came on board on Steam It too. She just got her account recently. I don't think she's done her intro post yet, but I think I've had about 4 or 5 people.
When she does, please make sure that she DMs me. I'm happy to go re-steam a new member to the community, and let's get 7,500 eyes on that.
Awesome. I would love to. She's got an incredible story. And she's somebody that's got some unique things to say about a life path that's been pretty difficult, kind of like mine. But, what you were saying too about bringing utility to this incredible currency that we get to participate with here, this is just like, it's really turning my crank right now. And I just want to mention this too. I know not everybody's going to want to go through all the lengths of, becoming a Fiat Gateway or anything like that, but I should mention, I think I mentioned it in chat here before. We've got a dolphin out here who's become a friend of mine through the Rocky Mountain Steam It community, RMS Steam, for anybody if you want to check out our page. His name is James, and he's actually been working with local businesses here in our metro region. And these are people that haven't had exposure to Steam in most cases, at least at this point. And they're interested in transacting in Steam. And
awesome.
It's incredible. Well, we've already had a couple of conversations about this because he's already doing research to figure out what we would need to do to create a Fiat Gateway to be able to bring utility to this dollar. And so it's getting exciting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are putting their mind towards the Fiat Gateway. It's scary for a lot of people because, the fiat governments of the world they sort of need crypto and they sort of hate it. As they're hyperinflating this thing, their value is going down, and now you have things like Bitcoin rocketing up. I recently posted a meme of one of I forget who it was, but it was a high up financial type saying something like, the establishment isn't afraid of Bitcoin because it's going to crash. They're afraid of it because it won't. If you have a dollar that keeps going up in value, while the other option is a fiat thing that they're printing billions of, and it's plummeting the value of that dollar, which financial asset would you rather hold? And to me, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to hold Steam. I'm going to hold Steam for 5 years, and even just what I have now, that'll pay my house and send all my kids to college.
Heck yeah.
I mean, but that's part of this thing being, I know it's not a deflationary currency because we do technically have inflation, but the amount of inflation that we have is so small relative to all the other fiat currencies that this thing is practically deflationary. And you combine it with the fast transaction times, you combine it with just a limited supply and the ease of use. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to come here. And as that happens, we're going to see more payment gateways. And I think it's going to be people accepting and trading in Steam. I'm not sure how much the US dollar is going to get involved, because every time that you want to use the US dollar, you're running into massive regulatory hurdles.
Huge.
And so one of the things that I was thinking of for using BidBots as a gateway for fiat, we're going to charge 1% to go run the push promoter tool for those accounts as sort of like a software as a service kind of thing, and provide all these automatic payments and provide tools and dashboards and all this other stuff. And one of the ways that we could accept dollars is basically not because we would exchange dollars for crypto, but we would charge them a service fee basically in dollars, and any of the US dollars that came in, we would say they're just paying us the service fee in dollars, as opposed to we are changing currency from US dollars to Steam. So I think there's a way that some of these service industries can come in and sell the service and collect in dollars without getting into this currency swapping thing. And I think that might lend itself to a gateway of fiat to Steam without actually being fiat to Steam from a technical standpoint, which might actually make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely sounds much more advantageous. There was another little strategy, actually a very good strategy, that was shared with, I'll say us, because it wasn't just me exclusively. It's, one of the conversations that came up in our Rocky Mountain Steam It meetup groups. We've had about 4 or 5 since I joined in September. And one of our regulars, he's out in Colorado Springs. Actually, Sunravel Me had mentioned him earlier, Dustin. He might be a whale now. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's the one that she'd mentioned had gotten into Bitcoin when it was like $4, and he owns a bunch of medical marijuana dispensaries out here. And he is he's a pretty seasoned investor. I'd cut my teeth on traditional banking and finance as well. I'd gone to school for music, but I kind of traded in my big dream to be the next Kenny G for business, and I wound up slanging mortgages and getting a little bit into esoteric banking and buying precious metals at one point. And this is one thing that Dustin's been doing too, and he tipped us off to a gold seller, a buyer, seller, they're a dealer. I'll just drop the name here for anybody that might be interested in this. It's a killer strategy if you're not in a pinch for time and you actually want to trade for some reason and kind of keep it on the stealth. There's a really great precious metals dealer that will accept your Bitcoin or Ethereum in exchange for precious metals and coins, numismatics, bars, things like that. And it's Velt Gold, VELDT, gold. And Bronco Nuts, that's it. He's a whale. Okay, my bad. Thanks, son. Yeah, it's just a really great strategy. Personally, I'm glad I got out of gold, to be honest. Back when I was dealing in that, the price that we could get for unrefined, alluvial gold concentrate, or AKA gold dust, out of West Africa is approximately what you'll get for an ounce of bullion right now. And so, I won't say it's the greatest strategy for holding, but for people that are looking for a way to perhaps diversify ways to change currencies and to, interact in a different way with the markets. Gold is one way that you can do that, because instead of holding it, you can actually take that anywhere if it's a coin, and you can turn that into cash. And so it's not more of a holding strategy, but more of a means to mobilize the funds.
Yeah, that's
without
fascinating.
Necessarily.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about trading in gold because gold isn't quite a currency, so some of those currency regulations might not be in effect.
Exactly. And so that's where it presents some unique advantages to somebody who doesn't need to make any sudden moves, but that is looking to make some sort of a trade here and have a little bit of privacy. And so this is one good way to do it. It's just an alternate way to think about, how to mobilize yourself.
Yeah, that's fascinating, because I'm not dying to see a government take a huge chunk of what I've built here, mostly because my government will go spend 70% of that bombing and killing people overseas. And
exactly.
As a leader of a peace group, I'm pretty against that. And I happen to think that they're all a bunch of criminals. So I don't really want criminal, violent gangsters running around with my money killing people. So I hadn't thought about the gold angle. I mean, at some point I have to deal with reality of I have a mortgage and I need to pay that off at some point.
Sure.
But if I could do that by buying gold and then figuring out a way to go, one of my favorite options, and I haven't really explored this too much, but I learned this trick by figuring out what HSBC was doing, and a lot of the ways that they were getting around some of their money laundering things or maximum amount of deposit kind of things was that instead of depositing money into an account, they took out a big loan and then they paid against the loan. And for whatever reason, paying against the loan didn't trigger the same sort of audits and whatnot as simply depositing $10,000 or more into an account. So they took out a loan, they got cash, and then they would basically launder money by paying off the loan. And I don't know if that's a viable strategy, but that's certainly been in my brain since, hey, if it's good enough for HSBC, maybe that's a way that we can skirt regulators and do it with some legal defense, or not raise as many eyes or something. So one of my thoughts would be, go for it.
As long as you're using the right banking instrument and your verbiage is good and how you have drafted what you're sending through, they don't care. As far as I'm concerned, for several years after I was doing, well, it might be a little different now, but so I do have to say this was several years ago. This was right after they pulled the rug out from everyone here in Colorado and drained this whole housing market. It was just an epic crisis. I'd started working more with project finance at that time. Mortgages had collapsed, and I was doing a little bit of private money lending, just with cash. And I learned some things about how they fund projects. I say that in finger quotes. They're dramatic finger quotes. But I had actually been working on the back end, where I was basically reviewing submissions for multi-million-dollar projects that were looking to receive funding in a non-traditional sense. So sometimes, one part of it would be coming through like HSBC, Deutsche Bank, some big top 20 bank. And as long as you're putting up the instruments and the bank's getting their cut and the lender that's making you credit worthy to give you those credit lines that you were saying against your asset, they don't really care as long as it goes through Swift protocol because they charge so much on those fees. And so, yeah, I think that many things fall under the umbrella of structured finance, and some of them I would definitely throw under that esoteric category that you mentioned of money laundering that can cover any number of things, but there's definitely a way to do it. I think we've got some other advantages here though, just working with our coins and like you were saying, just the power of being able to do these power delegations and to be able to create assets here by our contributions. There's some things that if we were organized, like obviously we are, and we kept innovating, that we would be able to do that. I think could probably put all that stuff to the shame it deserves in those ugly banks.
Yeah, but I still have a mortgage, right? And I still have a power bill, and I still have a cell phone bill, and those places aren't accepting crypto. At least they aren't yet. And then when they do, they're probably going to be idiots and choose Bitcoin. So I'm struggling with, especially if Steam goes up to $4 sometime this month, and I might be the only idiot out here, but I'm still pretty bullish on Steam and SBD. Like if this thing goes up to $4, then we're going to be like, I could literally be in a position to not have to keep working in that world. But despite that, I still have bills that I have to pay, and I'm trying to figure out how can I do that in a reasonable way while being completely in crypto and basically attempting to avoid my government to the highest level possible because they're a bunch of criminal sociopaths.
Yes, they are. I concur with that. Well, I will just say you're not the only one that's going bullish. I might not be as bullish as you, but in the break while I was restarting and picking up my other handset to have better sound, I actually was transferring some money from my block trades and investing in some more SBD that I'm going to be hanging on to here. And, I'm with you. I think we're investing in a new future. And so, some of this, we can really kind of limit ourselves if we're not looking with a trajectory forward, much into the future. And some of us can't do that. I got that. We've got bills to pay. I've lived moment to moment before myself where, it was like, hey, Jacob, remember to keep breathing, you're on life support, that kind of stuff. And so, I can understand what that feels like. And I just think that, it's just a wonderful time that we're actually here where we can actually have these kinds of problems right now, where the biggest thing is figuring out how we're going to create more utility. And so, I don't know that there's a right now answer, but I will say that yesterday when I was on the phone with American Express, I certainly lit them up that I was making a payoff and that they were unwilling to have any sort of payment gateways for people that were trying to pay things off in cryptocurrency. Nice. And I actually had a pretty detailed conversation with them that got expedited to the Premier Services that works with my credit card. And so I continually have these dialogues with people, and I'm the guy that when they get on the phone with me and they're like, this call might be recorded, I'm like, actually, it's definitely recorded because I record these calls too. And I have some things to talk to you about today. And so that's kind of how my calls go with all of my bills and the people that receive my money for the places that I live and patronize. So I think it's just something we can do. It's kind of like working on your elevator pitch. If you've ever been in sales, you know what it is.
You should, hold on, you got to go post that. If you have a recording, go post that recording. Put it through D-Sound or something.
Okay.
Or Sound Exchange, or just put it on Mega Uploads as like an MP3 and share that link with everybody. Because I think that'd be pretty fascinating to hear what Banker X is going to tell you. I mean, I think the people at the total, like, very tippity top of these banks are freaking total asshole sociopaths. But I feel like middle management are just people. You know, maybe a handful of them are like real assholes, but you know, the majority of people are just people. They're just doing the best that they can and might not even know how bad that these banks are acting. I don't know. So I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll dig it up. And for anybody that's interested in anything like that, automatic call recorder is great. I use it all the time because I do consulting work for people, and sometimes they get a little zapped while we're, going into the woo-woo stuff. And so it's always good that I can give them a link back for playback. And sure does come in handy when people like the ones that hold us responsible for the bills that we need to pay make certain fiduciary obligations to us or verbal contracts that are then reneged upon. It's come in so handy to have voice recordings. So advocate for yourself and know your rights, y'all.
You know, my favorite meme that's been in my head for a while is the Morpheus one where it's something like, hey, you mean one day I can dodge bullets? And he says, no, I mean, one day you won't have to. And I feel like where I really want this thing to go is, you mean I can pay my mortgage in crypto by converting into dollars? And the answer is no. One day you won't have to. That's where I hope that, my kids are living in that world. I literally think that, like, the two things that really support these giant nation states that are basically large criminal entities, there's two things. There's military that support them and the ability to print money. And that military only exists because of that ability to print money. And cryptos are totally hitting these guys right in their financial nuts, because we're taking away the value of their currency. And you can see that in the rising price of Bitcoin. And it's not always so much just that Bitcoin is rising. It's that dollars and these other currencies are failing against it. So there's power
and they will
there.
Continue. They will continue to fail.
Yeah, because again, like, if I got money in a savings account, and a year from now it will buy less shit. I got money sitting in SBD and Steam. A year from now it will buy more shit. That's amazing. That's what non-inflationary, or basically, non-inflationary currencies and tokens can do for us, when the rich assholes that control them aren't minting 8 billion of them.
That's the truth. And just as a minnow, speaking as a minnow, I mean, I just got started here in September. Excuse me. Earlier this week, I woke up and, my little account had gone up like $200 in value. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what happened? I was looking around, surfing the feed. What the heck happened? And find out about all this pumping going on. I was like, all right, thanks, y'all. This is good. It's just, I'll take it for what it is. And it's just a time to be grateful, So, more than anything else, it's just been a huge awakening to what it is to be a being versus, what we've been so conditioned. It's all about what you do and all this busy work, and you're a human being at the end of the day. So I think there's something to be said for us, like, recognizing the part of this that allows us to recognize our own intrinsic value as an appreciating asset and honoring the divine currency that you are as that being.
Do you know about the One People's Public Trust? Have you looked into that at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay. This is a gigantic topic, but it's for another night. But that is my brain gift to you this evening, is you have to go look up the One People's Public Trust. Because they basically state that we are all made of eternal essence. We all have basically the spirit of God within all of us. There's nothing higher than us. There's no central power that can stand between us and the great spirit of existence. And we are all, we all bring with us value. And as you talk about us being the value, I have stated in part because of reflections on the OPPT, which stands for the One People's Public Trust, that people are the value, and that, you know, I could have an entire planet made of gold, but if I don't have other people to trade it with, there's no value. So it's not so much the gold that's the value, it's the other person that I'm connecting with. And so that, you said you want to resonate, that's part of my journey that got me here. And just a fundamental belief that the currency as used now is a debt slavery system, and these cryptocurrencies are an abundance system. And I think we're watching a planetary shift. And I very literally think cryptocurrencies are going to be the thing that smashes the nation state back to the 18th century idea that it is.
Well, viva la revolution.
Yeah, basically.
I'm all about it, man.
All right. Well, that's a pretty good way to go end the show. So, you know, nothing like a 4-hour radio talk show. I'm freaking exhausted before I got here. I'm more exhausted now, but this thing, we did dice rodeo. Dice is over. What isn't done. All right. I gotta go. I'm gonna move you down. Jacob, this is fun. I hope that we can keep doing this.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right. So the last thing I actually have to do here is the delegation. Delegation is still outstanding. So let's go. Here are the people that I have on here. Did I miss anybody from this? Who else has to go on? Is there anybody that I missed? I can't believe that I only really did 10. Well, Michael, yeah, you're here, but you weren't on the show. So it's not like that. Audience participants are people that actually came on the show. Is there anybody that I missed? I mean, I just did 20, 30-minute interviews with everybody tonight. Okay. So, okay. Rondon did come on. We can go give Rondon a little shout out here. That's a good one. That counts. Anybody else who actually came on air? Going once. Going twice. All right. Well, if I forget somebody, this is terrible, but oh well. If I roll a 1, we're going to push the delegation to next week. So, oh shit. I think I can do this. T dice 1d12. I think I can roll a d12. The result is a 5. Well, there you go. Intuitive Jacob. He's going to go get himself a sweet little 250 delegation. How about that? Okay. So, intuitive Jacob. That's my 250 SP. And then MSP-Waves gets the 50 Steam. And that's it. That's a 4-hour radio show for everybody. Some of you guys have been here basically the whole time. That's amazing to me. I'm grateful for this audience. Thank you for being here. Hopefully this was fun, and hopefully you got something out of it. I think it's fascinating. I love you guys. Thank you for putting up with my views on bidbots and flags as violence. Maybe that's not entirely popular, but what are you going to do? So this was fun. I'm going to hang up. Maybe I'll play one last song here. Why don't we play the same damn thing I do all the time with Long December as my closing song. And then when this is over, Ron can go kill the show. But you guys were tons of fun. I love you all. I'm going back to Ag Road. And I don't know, enjoy high SBDs. And I might be the only bullish one around here, but frankly, I think they're going to keep going up. So much love, guys, and I'll see you I'll see you around in Palnet.